guys, welcome to the video. Here I'm going to be talking about how 2025 went for me and some goals that I have for 2026. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, sit down and get ready. So I started my 2025 in January, learning that me and my husband were going to have a baby. I found out I was pregnant about 5 weeks into the pregnancy, a couple weeks into 2025, and it was hectic because not only was I finding out I was pregnant, we were also moving during that time. In 2025, at the beginning of the year, my husband and I moved to Iowa as kind of like a stepping stone to get to where we are now, which is Arkansas. So yeah, it was a little chaos inducing. But then February, we got to have our ultrasound and see our beautiful girl and find out we were having a girl. And so that was really special for us, getting settled into the new place, getting settled into our new lives, learning about what each other thought about parenting, which we had already talked about previously before getting pregnant, but now with the pregnancy, like really having serious discussions about what it means to be a mama and papa and what it means to have a baby and a child, especially in this day and age. So then in February, after my ultrasound, I started really sitting down with myself and thinking about what I wanted to do with my life and with the rest of the year, leading into March, which was hit with a little bit of, I would say like hormonal chaos. I just, 2.5 to 3 months pregnant, was not feeling great, hormonally or emotionally due to the pregnancy and due to having to go off of some of my mental health medications because of pregnancy, which was a little rough, but totally worth it, 100%. And then in the next month of April, I decided to really focus on honing my skills as a writer. I started doing more sprints, which is just write as much as you can, as long as you can, basically. And then I would go back and like do small little edits here and there, mostly grammar edits. But it was really just for me to practice writing so that I could then move on in my work in progresses of my books that I'm working on. And then in May, I went backwards instead of forwards. In May, we announced our pregnancy to our family. I wanted to wait to announce it until we hit the 20-week mark, just because I just wanted to wait. I wanted to enjoy being pregnant by myself with my husband. I wanted to wait to make sure everything was okay. Everything was fine. My pregnancy was relatively easy. I had no gestational diabetes. I had no preeclampsia. None of that. I had no problems whatsoever except for extreme morning sickness. I don't care what anyone says. We need to rename morning sickness to just pregnant sickness. It gives a false illusion that you are only sick in the morning, and I was pretty much having not a good time 24/7 to the point where I couldn't eat anything. I threw out a rib, so that was really rough. And then in the next month, my husband and I really settled down in June to figure out what exactly we wanted, where exactly we wanted to go for not only housing purposes, but also just in our lives. So June was spent with a lot of like prepping and planning and a lot of packing, because in July we moved to Arkansas, which is where we live now in this home. And July was spent hitting the ground running. We got set up with doctors, we got set up with therapists, we got set up with psychiatrists. Huh?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. That my husband's playing a video game in the background. I got him Fallout 76 for Christmas, so he's having fun with that. And then in August, it was the hottest month of the year in Arkansas, in August, and I was ready to pop and very miserable. My feet swelled. My feet swole. That's what I would say, like, all the time, is my feet are swole. Because it sucked. It really sucked how swollen my feet were. But then in September, we got to welcome our beautiful baby girl, to the world. And also got to say goodbye to sleep. So that was fun. But it was a magical, primal, divine experience going through labor and delivery, with my husband right alongside with me. He coached me through everything. He held my hand the entire time and pet my hair. He got me a fan, a little mini portable fan that sits on my desk right now, so that when I was hot, he would point it at me. And he even cut the umbilical cord, which he says he can still feel cutting the umbilical cord. It was a very surreal experience for him, as well as labor and delivery was for me. So then in October, we got settled down with our baby. We got established with a routine. We got established with a pediatrician. And then we did Halloween celebrations, which we all dressed up as ghosts. And that was really fun and spooky. And we watched Halloween movies. Like, I had never seen Ghostface before. And so with the new Scream. Scream. Sorry. With the new Scream movie coming out, I wanted to watch the original, especially because I love Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard. So we watched the original, and it was really very cringy, but very good for the time it was written. And for the type of movie it is. Very slasher, making fun of other horror movies while making fun of itself as well. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. And then in November, we got busy as heck. Holiday season hit. We had Thanksgiving to go to, which was amazing, celebrating our first Thanksgiving together as a family with our daughter. And then this month, in December, we had so many Christmases to go to. There was so many celebrations to have, and it was also my birthday month. So that was really fun to celebrate. Oh, and in October, it was my husband's birthday month, so we got to celebrate everybody's birthday this year, including our daughter's, like, actual birthday. So that was really cool. This year, I didn't really achieve a lot of the goals that I had set for 2025, just due to finding out I was pregnant and kind of upending and moving not once but twice while pregnant, which I do not suggest you move across the country at all while pregnant, or move entirely while pregnant. Stay where you are. It's way more comfortable that way. But due to circumstances, we just had to. And I also, in this year, I learned a new hobby. I picked up crocheting rather recently, like within the last month of when this video comes out. And I'm not good at it. I'm not good at, like, I'm not making sweaters. I'm not making hats. I'm solely just doing, like, crochet stitching and learning all the stitches and learning how to read patterns so that when I want to eventually make a project, I can. Although I have really pretty yarn that I'm very excited to make into something, because it's blue and gray and it's silvery and sparkly and it's really pretty. And then I also started reading more, and I'm hoping that in 2026 I will continue to read and continue to crochet in addition to my writing. I recently got inspiration for a new writing project, which I'll talk about a little bit more in this video later on. But I'm hoping that those 3 hobbies will really, I do them daily. I really want them to be like daily hobbies that I do, in addition to working and being a homemaker and a mama and a wife and all the things, you know. So I'm really hoping that 2026 is filled with a lot of like routine and dedication, so that I can get the things done that I want to get done. So let's talk about goals for 2026. Let me get my goal book out real quick. Hold on. So this is a planner I got. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. To be quite frank, I don't really use planners all that much. It's cute. I mean, like, it's cute, and it has weekly as well as monthly. So that's really cool. See, you have the month of January. But in the front, it has a place where you can write your goals and break them down by categories. So to start first with the category of hobbies and writing and my career and where I'm going, is I want to really post more regularly about our lives on our Instagram, Warfare Warehouse. If you don't follow it, you should. It's really cute. I just post adventures that me and my husband go on. I post some cute family things. We also have a TikTok that I'm trying to post more on. And I also just really want to dedicate myself to the YouTuber thing. I've always wanted to I've not wanted to be an influencer by any means, but I've always wanted to post about my life, because I know that there's people out there, maybe you're one of them, that are lonely or don't know anybody around that's like them or like-minded like them. So I really want to like reach and cultivate community that understands each other. Which goes into my goal for relationships, is I really want to grow closer with the people I already have established relationships with. So what does that look like? For me, that looks like going out on more dates with my husband, having more intimate time. And intimate time is just like having more intimate conversations, having more thought-provoking conversations, having more cuddle time as a family. I also want to grow closer with my daughter, just watching her grow up this year. So that'll be really fun. As well as I really want to just stay drama free this year. And I don't mean like any drama is bad drama. I just mean like, I don't want to be devastated by friendships. I don't want to be dealing with he said, she said crap. I don't want to do any of that this year, especially because I have a daughter. I really want to focus on just like honing in on our family, as well as just I don't know, like staying together and sticking to my routine that I set, and just tracking things, like my habits, like in TrackBear. I track my writing; in Fable, track my reading; in my budgeting, track my expenses and my savings, and actually have a savings. That's really important to me. That's a goal this year. Is not only do I want to really hone in on a budget, but I want to A, stick to the budget, and B, have savings as part of the budget, savings for me and my family, as well as just my daughter for when she gets older. And my husband and I have decided to move. Yes, again, we're moving again. We have decided to move, staying in Arkansas, but moving closer to the River Valley instead of Northwest Arkansas, just to have cheaper living situations and cheaper gas and stuff like that, making the hardships relent on us. And then the last thing I have as a goal is for my physical and mental well-being. For self-care, I really want to meditate more, and have more of a self-care routine that includes meditation and lotion and facials and massage and just relaxation more. I feel like my body needs to relax. Like, I need to just have time and space where I can just melt. And not like melt like doom scroll, just melt into my bed while listening to a good book, or melt into my bed while listening to a good song, or relax in my chair while I crochet. Just have time where my mind isn't running a million miles an hour a day. As well as I want to find a good, consistent therapist for me, where I can deal with some of my trauma, some of my postpartum symptoms, as well as just have somebody that's safe to talk to about my day-to-day life. And so, yeah, those are like my big goals for my life. Some goals I have specifically to my craft of writing has to do with Project Pumpkins, which is my new work in progress that I have named. It is a romance novel, and that's kind of a challenge for me. Not due to the romance aspect of it, but having the romance be the prime focus of the novel is a little bit of a challenge. I usually write romantasy or purely like mystery, like intrigue kind of things. But this one I want to solely focus on the romance aspect of it. And I'm challenging myself because I want to write it in a perspective that I don't necessarily have myself. Meaning my main character in the novel, who is kind of the narrator of the story, is actually an angsty teenage boy. And I usually don't write in perspective of men. I usually write in the perspective of women or girls or young up-and-coming people. But I really wanted to challenge myself this year and write something that I could really spend time on to elevate my skills as a writer. As well as I want to read. And when I say I want to read, I mean I want to read. I want to read multiple books of multiple different genres by multiple different authors and perspectives. I want to track my reading and journal about my reading, which I've been doing a little bit with the book I'm reading now, Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I've been annotating it as well as journaling about it, but I want to keep up that habit and continue that as I read the other books on my TBR, to be read list. So yeah, and with the crocheting, I want to finish a project this year. I want to actually make a blanket, a beanie, a scarf, something. And just one thing. Just one thing. If I make one thing this year out of crochet, I will be happy. And then with routines for 2026, I really want to hone in on a routine for just the family, my family in general. Especially as my daughter gets older. She's 3.5 months right now. So as she gets older, routine is going to be more pertinent to her development, and I really want to facilitate a good relationship with routine. Routine is really hard for me. I get bored very easily, or I don't actually do it, and I feel very self-deprecating when I don't complete my goals. So that's another thing that is really important to me for 2026 is sticking to the plan. I want to stick to the plan. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for goals of 2026. I'm really excited to see what the year has in store for me, and I'm really excited to see where we go next. So, if you're interested in following me in my journey of 2026, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on any platform that you're seeing this on. Shoot me a comment about what your goals are for 2026, and maybe even how you're feeling about how your 2025 went. So yeah, until then, I'll see you next time.